Hello. Thank you very much. Yes, I'm Lindsey Booth. I've got 5 minutes with you. That's the rule. I love a rule. I do. It's going to go really quickly for me. For you, maybe less so. I have to manage your expectations. I work in financial services compliance, which basically means I help firms meet the rules set for them by the regulator, which is fantastic for me. But I guess it's not everyone's cup of tea. And in fact, it's not actually that conducive to doing stand-up comedy, because as a comedian, you're expected to be quite creative, maybe lie a little bit, embellish the truth. And that doesn't suit me. I don't lie. There are comedians here tonight, by the way, they'll lie. What they're saying to you is not true. They'll tell you they're out there, they're dating, they'll tell you about their woes about dating, they're on Tinder and it's awful, but they're not. They're married with 3 children. So watch out for that, ladies, at the end. I had a whole set written about being single, but I was in a relationship, so yeah, I dumped him. You have to have professional integrity. I think that's really important. I think, actually, I do find it, I don't really like being single, but sometimes I think it's more painful to be in a relationship. And in fact, I was in a very painful relationship a couple of years ago with a guy called Tom, who was lovely in so many ways. He was gorgeous, he was good looking, he was kind, he was generous. But the problem with him was that he had an extraordinarily large penis. And it was just too much, And but I had to really think about it, because I had to sort of weigh up the pros and cons, because on the one hand, there's this gorgeous man, and on the other hand, he had this huge penis, and I was torn. I was really torn. And then that all ended, and then I met this other guy online, a guy called Richard, and he seemed perfect. We chatted, and he said to me, "What are you into?" And I said, "I'm into compliance." I thought I'd tell him about my job. He responded that he was also into compliance, and would I send him some pictures? So I thought I can do better than that, and I sent him a link to my LinkedIn profile. And I didn't hear back from him, so that was a bit of a shame. So I think on balance, I probably prefer to be in a relationship. I think I'm not very good at being single, because I'm not very good at masturbating. And it wasn't something I kind of learned to do properly. And like at school, in sex education in the 80s, they didn't really talk about those sorts of things. They'd talk about intercourse. You learned about kind of men and women having sex. And I learned to put a condom on a banana, which has proved to be very useful. But they kind of just brushed over the subject of masturbation. And they sort of said, well, there's a thing you can do. You'll enjoy it, but you do it on your own. And you mustn't be ashamed of it. And I wasn't sexually mature. I thought, what the hell are they talking about? And the only thing I could equate those sort of criteria to was picking my nose. I was a child. I don't do it anymore. And I didn't find out actually until I went to the school nurse with a nosebleed, and she said, "What happened?" And I said, "I think I've been masturbating too much." And she was disgusted and called me a dirty girl and all sorts of horrid names. And I thought, hang on, this isn't fair. I've seen other people do it, and it shouldn't just be a rule for me. It should be a rule for everyone else. So I threw one of my schoolmates completely under the bus and said, well, Alistair Strachan has been masturbating in class and he's been eating it. I didn't know. So anyway, it's tricky, isn't it? But, anyway, Alistair went off to a new special school, and I learned a little bit too late for Alistair that that's not what masturbation is. And anyway, it took me a long time, because it took me ages, I was like, well, I kind of had this whole guilt thing about it, so I didn't really kind of learn to do it properly. And I confided in a friend in the end, and she said, why don't you get yourself a rabbit? And I thought, I don't know why she did that, because I know what a rabbit is. So I got myself a rabbit, and but I didn't have any luck with it. Maybe I should have rubbed its foot instead of its penis. And anyway, then I looked online, and I found this online store which sells products. I thought maybe I can find something else to help me. And I found this product. They have a product on there called the Rabbit. How funny, I'll have to tell my friend, she'll find that hilarious. And anyway, I found this product, and it's a vibrator, and it said it's a beginner's model, so I thought it was perfect. It said it was easy to use, just like riding a bike. And actually it is very much like riding the first bike that I ever had. It's got 3 speeds, and I have fallen off it a couple of times. But I'm not stupid, yeah? I got myself a helmet. Yeah, so I don't know. I've been struggling with it ever since, and I don't know. Thought about it, and I just can't work out what I'm doing wrong. I just can't put my finger on it. I'm going to leave you with that image, and thank you very much.